There was never any room for my kids, my family said every holiday for years. But my sister's twins and their dog always had a spot. I kept quiet, but this year I got a penthouse in New York. Now they're saying we're packing our bags right away. My reply, my name is Michael. I'm 35, older brother by 2 years, divorced, 2 kids. Jonah is 9, Ava is 6. I work as a front desk administrator at a hotel in Midtown, which means I apologize for elevators, soothe bridesmaids at 2 a.m., and remember to smile with my eyes when my face is tired. I know how to get gum out of carpet. I know the exact tone that gets upgrades without starting a fight. People hand me their problems folded into questions, and I answer them without making them feel small. That's the work. At home, I run a small, clean life. 2 bedrooms in Queens, cereal lined up like soldiers, a laundry basket that never goes empty. I share custody with my ex Tasha. We text politely. We trade jackets when one kid forgets. We're not friends, but we're good at being parents on the same team. I'm not charming like my sister. I am, according to my mother, reliable, said with the same voice she uses for a decent vacuum cleaner. My sister's name is Lily. She has twins, Theo and Piper, 5, and a golden doodle named Mocha who sheds like a snow globe. Lily is the glitter version of me. Big laughs, bigger ideas. My mom calls her our star. My dad calls me steady, then asked me to carry the heavy things. Every holiday for years I heard the same sentence. There's no room for your kids. It always arrived with a soft smile. Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, 4th of July, new excuses, same message. The basement is full of donations. The guest room is set up for the twins. Mocha needs a quiet space. Meanwhile, there was always room for Lily's twins and the dog. Mocha got a stocking one year. My kids got a porch hug and a to-go plate. I swallowed it because that's what I do. I called it logistics. I said, we'll stop by early. I packed coloring books, kept the car warm, and took photos in the driveway because the living room was already staged. I told myself it would change next year. Next year kept not showing up. Then this spring, something different happened. I got promoted. Nothing dramatic, just a bump, a bonus, and a chance to move closer to the hotel. I found a place that didn't seem real the first time I stepped inside. A top-floor duplex in a tired building that someone finally loved back to life. People called it a penthouse. I called it sunlight. 2 balconies, a line of sky, enough room for bunk beds, and a table that doesn't wobble. I signed the papers on a Tuesday, sat on the floor with Chinese takeout, and watched the city blink like it couldn't help it. I sent one photo to the family chat. Mom wrote 20 exclamation points. Dad wrote, proud of you, son. Lily wrote, OMG. Then Lily added, we're packing our things right now. I felt the old knot twist and then strangely loosen. I set my chopsticks down and typed back slowly. This isn't a hotel. We're not doing that. It didn't start with the apartment. It started with space that somehow wasn't for us. The first year I brought Jonah as a baby. Mom said, just stop by for hugs. There's chaos with the twins. You know how it is. When we arrived, 2 high chairs sat at the table with place cards, Theo and Piper. I bounced Jonah on my knee in the hallway by the coat closet while Lily laughed. We totally forgot your little guy needs to sit too, Dad said. We'll make do. And then Mocha jumped into his lap and nobody moved the dog. Christmas after that? Mom called a week before. Full house, sweetheart. Come at 8 for coffee. Presents were at 10 o'clock. We left at 9:30. Through the window, I could see the tree and the twins in matching pajamas. I told Jonah we'd do gifts at home. He was too little to know the difference. I knew reasons mutated. The basement is mid-Reno. Your kids don't sleep well in new places. The twins are trying a strict routine. The truth was simple. The available room was a moral compass that always pointed to Lily. I tried to be okay with it because the conflict would cost more than the feelings. I picked quiet because quiet is lighter to carry. I told myself it wasn't personal. My son asked, why can't we sleep at Grandma's? And I said, we'll have our own fun. And pretended he didn't hear his cousin shout from inside the house while Mocha wore a scarf. It wasn't just space. It was money, always little things. Lily's texts were cheerful invoices. Can you grab the twins' robotics kit? I'll pay you back Friday. $119 never came. The sitter canceled. Can you cover the deposit for the backup? $75. You're a lifesaver. Theo's inhaler COI is ridiculously high. $62. Love you. Mom's version was softer. Don't worry your sister right now. We're juggling so much. You know how kids are? Dad's version was older. Family helps. My version was my bank app at midnight and a spreadsheet named Liliu that I filled for 3 months and then closed because it made me angry to look at it. At work, I was the person who made sure other people felt welcome. Of course, we have space. Absolutely. Let me see what I can do. I comped upgrades and made room out of thin air. I carried that skill into my family by mistake. I moved things around inside myself until everybody fit except me. It looked like generosity. It was erosion. The worst scenes were the small ones. Easter. Jonah walked in with a dyed egg in a paper cup. Mom took it, smiled, and set it on a side table behind a lamp where no one would see it. The twins made 12, she said, like that explained physics. Thanksgiving. Ava sat on the floor with her plate because there was no seat, and Dad said, well, she's young like gravity works different at 6. Lily taped Mocha's art, a paw print in gold, onto the fridge and laughed when I noticed. He's family, she said. I raised the topic once, calm numbers. We drive an hour, we come early, we leave before dinner, it's hard. Mom sittied. Oh, Michael, you're making everything heavy. Lily said, don't guilt-trip me because your kids are high energy. They're children, I said. Exactly, she said, smiling. I tried small boundaries. Please ask before you use my Amazon. Please don't add my card to Instacart. Please don't send me Venmo requests with no explanation. Lily replied with thumbs-up emojis and then did all 3 in a row. Once I saw a delivery tip for an address that wasn't mine, she said. It was an accident. It kept being an accident. Why didn't I blow up? Because blowing up would be the story and I'd be the villain. My mother has a way of holding her breath that makes you feel like you broke something expensive. I learned to make repairs before the break, so I didn't announce the penthouse. I let the contract close, and the keys hit my palm and blood returned to my face. I walked through the empty rooms and pictured my kids actually staying, sleeping, eating breakfast, leaving socks in places that annoy me. I put my hand on the balcony rail and imagined telling Jonah, yes, we live here. I thought very quietly mine. I told them with a photo because I didn't trust my voice. The photo did what photos do. We're packing our things when Lily texts, not a question, not, can we stay a weekend? Just a declaration wrapped in confetti. The old me would have started rearranging furniture in my head, making lists, picking sheets, rinsing a dog bowl. The new me sees my kids' beds and knows there's no space for someone else's permanent maybe. I work at a hotel. I've seen how fast one night becomes, we'll find something next week. I've watched guests turn amenities into entitlement, claiming a space because it felt good. I've learned the only sentence that matters when you hold the keys. Here are the policies. I needed one for my life. I type back, this isn't a hotel. We're not doing that. For the first time in my family, I sound like me. The call comes before my phone hits the table. Lily, haha, you're funny. When should we bring the playpen? Me, you shouldn't. Michael, we can use the second bedroom. The twins don't mind sharing. I'll put Mocha's bed by the balcony. He loves fresh air. There's no Mocha bed here. Silence, then offense. You're serious? Yes. We're family. Exactly why I'm telling you the truth. She makes a small sound picking her next move. She tries pity. Our landlord's impossible. We just need a landing pad. A month, 2 max. I can host dinners, I say, not households. You're punishing me for Mom's rules, she says. This is about the holidays. It's about my home. Mom jumps in on a 3-way like she's been waiting in the wings. Michael, hi, Mom. I hear you're refusing to help. I'm stating a boundary, I say, using my front desk voice, the one that makes drunks hand back their keys. Boundaries are trendy, she says, like their last season's boots. They're also real, I reply. You have space, she says, bright and reasonable. We don't. Simple math. It's my space, I say. That's the math. We've always made room for Lily's family because they have more moving parts, Mom says. I have 2 moving parts, I say. They're called children. Your kids are loud at night, she says, gently. The twins sleep like angels. Mocha barks at air, I say. We keep pretending that's adorable. Don't be cruel, she says, the word sharp like a slap. I'm being clear. Dad clicks on late. What's all this? He asks like he's walked into a movie past the good part. Your son bought a penthouse and doesn't want us in it, Mom says, cranking up the martyrdom. It's an apartment, I correct. And I don't want you living in it. Lily's voice sharpens. We helped you, Michael. How? I ask. Support, she says. You babysat twice last year, and I sent you $1,200 since January, I say before I can stop myself. Receipts on request. Mom inhales like I've cursed. No one's shifting blame, she says. Translation, you told the truth out loud. Lily pivots. Fine, not permanent, just Thanksgiving. We'll host at yours. It'll make up for everything. No, I say. Non-negotiable, Mom says, floating the words like balloons. It's entirely negotiable, I say. And I'm saying no. You want revenge for all the no-room years, she accuses. I stare at the empty wall where a clock should go. I picture Jonah and Ava, their backpacks, the way they charge into a room like it owes them nothing and everything at once. This isn't revenge, I say, steady. It's about closure and boundaries. Dad tries a deadline. Family helps. Family also respects, I say. Lily sighs, dramatic. You're going to regret this. I'm going to assemble bunk beds, I say. Michael, Mom says, voice low. If you shut us out, don't expect us to show up when you need us. I think of porch hugs, to-go plates, dog stockings. I think of the last time show up meant more than a caption. I won't, I say. I end the call. My hands shake like they do after a tough guest leaves the desk. My heart bangs against my ribs like a bad checkout. I sit on the floor and let it happen. Then I stand, grab the hex key, and finish the bunk beds. Jonah's blue blanket goes on top, Ava's unicorn pillow on the bottom. I text a photo to Tasha. She writes, looks like a home. I write back, it will be. The first week is a chorus, guilt, threats, logistics, back to guilt. I keep the phone on silent, answering when I have the bandwidth. Mom, your grandmother asked why you're excluding family traditions. Me, we're creating our own. Mom, you sound cold. Me, I sound clear. Lily, can you at least store a few boxes until January? Me, no storage. Lily, will pay you. Me, no, Dad, your mother's upset. Me, I know, at work I practice my yes elsewhere. Yes, we can get you a late checkout. Yes, I'll print your boarding pass. Yes, extra towels. It feels good to be generous in a place built for it. Coming home to a locked door and a rule I kept feels like rinsing my brain. Lily's lease ends. She pushes harder, just 2 nights while movers figure out the truck. I offer a hotel discount code. She calls me corporate. She shows up anyway with a playpen and 6 Rubbermaid bins. The doorman calls. Sir, a delivery insists it belongs to you. I go downstairs. There's Lily in athleisure, her twins climbing a stack of boxes, Mocha in a bandana that says City Boy. Don't be dramatic, she says. It's temporary. You ignored me, I say, because you're being unreasonable. I turn to the doorman. It's not mine. You're really going to do this, she asks, eyes wet. I already did, I say. People watch. Boundaries are tough, especially with family watching. No one booed when I set them. A man held the door pretending to check mail. The twins looked confused. Mocha tried licking a no pets sign. Almost funny. Lily called Mom on speaker, demanding help. Mom said, Michael, compromise? I said, 1 suitcase each, 2 nights. That's it. Lily's friend with a van showed up. They left angry. Anger's easier than boxes. First weekend with Jonah and Ava in the new place was messy, perfect. Pizza on the floor, cartoons for hours, 2 sweet cocoa. Jonah pressed his face to the window, asked, Is this all ours? I said, When you're here. Ava asked, Even the sky? I said, Borrowed, like a library book. She nodded. Sunday they slept soundly. I sat on the balcony, city noise humming, a bad trumpet player trying. Thanksgiving planning started. Mom and Lily insisted on my place. I said no, sent the pet policy. They showed up anyway, Mom with a casserole, Lily with a roast, Mocha in boots. I stopped it, promised the kids a park day instead. We ate chicken, not turkey. Jonah said seltzer felt like a party. Ava cried over spilled cranberry sauce, thinking she ruined the rug. I said, Rug's clean. We watched the parade replay, judged floats, laughed. Mom's posts preached gratitude, no mention of the lobby standoff. My sink had 1 pan, not 20. December brought more traditions. Cookie exchange, no caroling party, no Mocha on New Year's, no pushback came, you've changed. Money's in your head. Old Michael said yes, survived. New Michael says no, sits with the discomfort until it fades. Rachel noticed, said I looked quiet in the face. I laughed, finally locked my life. I made house rules. Bedtime's a promise, we eat at the table, no apologies for our space, no surprise guests. The kids added their own in marker. Christmas, we did nothing wild, just pajamas, pancakes, oranges, FaceTimed Mom. Her house was chaos, Mocha in antlers. She said, Wish you were here. I said, We're good. Jonah bragged about our view of our balcony. They ran off free. Lily sent a holiday expense note. I replied, We didn't share a holiday. She sent a receipt anyway. I sent a thumbs up, nothing else. Silence was my locked door. In January, Lily got a bigger place. Mom started crafting. Dad texted about the Knicks. The twins invited Jonah to their birthday. Mocha's visit? No, they survived. My home became easy, not a symbol, just ours. A sock under the couch, Jonah's Lego, yes town, Ava's fridge drawings, a thriving basil plant. I sent a final email, my place isn't storage, a crash pad, or a pet hotel. Visits are planned, short. Surprises are no. No events without my kids. Mom sighed, understood. Lily called me corporate but asked for lease advice. I helped. I'm not a villain, just a man with a spine. At the park, the kids ran wild, Mocha in a sweater. Mom gave me a thermos, said I looked rested. I am. We watched the kids play, rules changing, no tears. Walking home, Jonah and Ava beside me, we got bagels, climbed our stairs. The air smelled of cinnamon. Jonah yelled, "Yes, town." Ava stirred nothing in the kitchen. I ignored the family chat. Lily posted her new place. Mom said, "It all works out." I put my phone down, made tea. Boundaries aren't revenge, they're home policy. I work in hospitality. Welcome isn't take everything. Family taught me that. My no doesn't need their yes. I stopped knocking on their doors and used my own key. I'm still kind, reliable, not a lobby anymore. There's room for my kids, our noise, our small holidays, our basil plant. For me, breathing on my balcony, living in the life I built.